For decades, people believed every package bound for the Caribbean had to take the same detour, first north to Miami, then down again to its final island destination. That stop-and-go system became so normal that no one even questioned it. But suddenly, that picture has changed. Amazon has just redrawn the shipping map. Company has planted its flag in the Dominican Republic, unveiling a brand new regional logistics hub, complete with Amazon air freighter flights dedicated to the Miami-Santo Domingo route. We're talking about a facility designed to push millions of parcels through each year. It's the first serious Amazon distribution hub in the Caribbean, and it's already rewriting the rules on how fast and how cheap deliveries can reach this region. But here's the bigger story. Amazon never stops at one hub. This is just the beachhead. And if you look at the patterns, the next target is clear. All signs point toward Jamaica. So today, let's break down why Jamaica might be Amazon's next big move in the Caribbean. Amazon is not in the business of guesswork. Every decision about where to place a hub is based on cold, hard calculations. The Dominican Republic didn't win this role by accident. It offered two unbeatable advantages: geography and infrastructure. First, geography. The island sits at a crossroads in the Caribbean basin, perfectly positioned between North and South America. From Santo Domingo, Amazon can reach Puerto Rico, Jamaica, and the Leeward Islands within short flight times while still keeping a direct, reliable line back to Miami. Second, infrastructure. Amazon's hub is located right at Las Americas International Airport in Santo Domingo. And just a short drive away sits Casitas Port, operated by DP World, one of the most advanced container facilities in the region. This pairing of a major international airport with a deep water port in the same metro area creates what logistics experts call a sea-air gateway. That means Amazon can offload containers from ships, reload them onto aircraft, or vice versa, all without lengthy overland transfers. To anchor this network, Amazon Air has already deployed 7 weekly freighter flights using Boeing 767s on the Miami-Santo Domingo route. For Caribbean customers, this is a revolution. What once took weeks under old forwarding chains through Miami can now be completed in days. And we're not talking about just a warehouse with racks of boxes, we're talking about an integrated distribution hub that ties the e-commerce pipeline directly to container shipping. But here's the secret. Amazon never bets everything on a single hub in a region. Look at how the company operates in the United States, in Europe, in Asia. Pattern is clear. It builds a network, a mesh of interconnected nodes, not a single point of failure. Why? 3 reasons drive this playbook. First, redundancy. If one hub gets clogged by weather delays, worker strikes, or simple congestion, another hub keeps the supply chain flowing. Second, surge capacity. During peak shopping seasons, like Christmas or Prime Day, no single facility can handle the crush of orders. Multiple hubs absorb the shock. Third, speed. Amazon's secret sauce is reducing the final mile. By placing inventory closer to customers, it lowers the cost of last-mile delivery and shaves days, sometimes weeks, off transit times. So yes, the Dominican Republic hub is important, but it's just the starting beachhead. Amazon will add a second node in the Caribbean because that's how the company future-proofs its networks. The real question is, where? And when you look at the map, Jamaica's case becomes almost impossible to ignore. Let's start with the port. Kingston is not just some mid-sized island port, it's a heavyweight. For decades, Kingston Harbor has been one of the Caribbean's central transshipment platforms, a place where massive container ships unload cargo that's then redistributed on smaller feeder vessels across the region. Kingston Freeport Terminal Limited, or KFTL, is run under a 30-year concession by global shipping giant CMA-CGM. And right now, it's in the middle of a major expansion. The Westlands project is adding about 15 hectares of new yard space, boosting container storage capacity by more than 25%. For Amazon, which thrives on staging, breaking down, and redistributing massive container loads, that kind of yard space and crane productivity is pure gold. Air cargo that's already built for speed. Now let's talk about air cargo. Norman Manley International Airport, or NMIA, isn't just an international passenger hub. Its cargo complex is designed for efficiency, bringing together ground handlers, airlines, and Jamaica customs under one roof. That matters because it cuts down on dwell time, the hours or days cargo might otherwise sit in limbo waiting for clearance. Jamaica's customs agency is also ahead of the curve. With online tracking, duty calculators, and electronic clearance systems, paperwork doesn't get stuck in bureaucratic bottlenecks. For Amazon, this means no need to reinvent the wheel. They can plug directly into a system that's already primed for fast courier flows. Then there's connectivity to the United States. Jamaica isn't just close geographically, it's heavily linked. Multiple daily flights connect Kingston and Montego Bay to U.S. cities like Miami, New York, and Atlanta. Even without dedicated Amazon freighters, the sheer frequency of passenger flights offers belly cargo capacity that Amazon can tap into. This gives the company flexible uplift at a lower cost than setting up brand new lanes from scratch. If you plot it on a map, Jamaica's position is perfect. From Kingston, Amazon could fan east toward Hispaniola and Puerto Rico, west to Cayman and Central America, and south into Colombia and Venezuela, all with shorter sailing and flying legs than if everything were run solely from Santo Domingo. A dual-node system, one in the DR, one in Jamaica, would give Amazon a lattice of coverage across the basin. If a hurricane hits Hispaniola, flows can reroute through Kingston. Congestion strikes Kingston, the DR can pick up the slack. Flexibility is everything in global logistics. Finally, policy. Jamaica has spent more than a decade actively pursuing its Global Logistics Hub initiative. This isn't a new idea cooked up to chase Amazon. It's a long-term strategy supported by government, private investment, and international partners. Special economic zones are already live, offering duty exemptions and streamlined regulation. Highway 2000, Jamaica's modern toll road, links the port and airport corridors seamlessly. And the Kimanasasizi is in development, a massive industrial park designed for warehousing, fulfillment, and logistics. Amazon typically enters markets where infrastructure, policy, and regulation align. Jamaica has been laying this groundwork for years. For Amazon, the stars are aligning. Faster delivery, broader coverage. A Kingston hub would slash line haul distances for islands across the Western and Central Caribbean. By staging inventory closer to those customers, Amazon can cut delivery lead times and reduce the per-parcel cost of final drops. Redundancy during peaks and storms. Caribbean is hurricane country. A single hub is always vulnerable. But a two-hub system, Santo Domingo plus Kingston, creates resilience. If heavy weather shuts down one side, Amazon reroutes through the other, keeping service promises intact. Lower landed costs for SMEs. This isn't just about Amazon's bottom line. Caribbean small businesses stand to benefit too. Faster customs clearance, lower last-mile costs, and shorter shipping cycles mean Jamaican and regional SMEs can participate in Fulfilled by Amazon with greater competitiveness. Imagine a craftsmaker in Kingston or a food producer in Montego Bay selling to prime customers worldwide at lower landed costs. Job creation and tech transfer. Standing up a hub isn't only forklifts and warehouses. It requires customs brokers, IT managers, truck drivers, package sorters, aviation coordinators, and more. Every Amazon hub creates hundreds, sometimes thousands of jobs, both direct and indirect. Just as importantly, it transfers logistics technology, training, and standards to local workforces. Jamaica wouldn't just get jobs, it would absorb a slice of Amazon's global logistics DNA. And that, right there, is the foundation of Jamaica's case. From port power to air cargo speed, from U.S. connectivity to geographic centrality, and from policy frameworks to job creation, Kingston looks like the perfect complement to Santo Domingo. But we're only halfway through the story. Part 2 will explore why Amazon can't just stick with the DR, what signals to watch for in Jamaica, and how this move could transform not just delivery times but the very economy of the Caribbean. First glance, some might wonder, if Amazon already has a functioning hub in the Dominican Republic, why bother expanding? Why not just run everything through Santo Domingo and call it a day? The answer is simple. No single hub can carry the entire weight of Caribbean logistics. Even with 7 weekly Amazon air flights and access to Casitos advanced port, the Dominican Republic can't maximize speed, reach, and resilience on its own. Caribbean isn't a small pond. It's a vast region dotted with hundreds of islands, each with its own customs systems, infrastructure quirks, and weather vulnerabilities. Amazon's own history shows the pattern clearly. In Europe, there's not just one fulfillment center in Germany, there are dozens spread across the continent. In Asia, hubs in Singapore, Japan, and India form a mesh, not a line. Redundancy isn't a luxury for Amazon, it's the foundation of its promise. And redundancy in the Caribbean means Jamaica. Not as a rival, but as a complement, a second pillar to balance the load. So how do we know if Amazon is moving toward Jamaica? The signs won't come with a press release right away. They'll show up as small moves, the kind only logistics watchers notice at first. The first signal, Amazon air routings. Test flights start appearing on the Miami-Kingston lane, or if seasonal freighters drop in during peak demand, that's the clearest early hint. Amazon Air rarely flies somewhere unless there's a plan behind it. The second signal, announcements tied to Jamaica's special economic zones. If the Kimanaza or the Kingston Logistics Corridor suddenly starts marketing warehouse space or fulfillment facilities in partnership with a global e-commerce leader, you can bet Amazon is behind the curtain. And the third signal, milestones at Kingston Freeport Terminal Limited. As its Westlands expansion adds capacity and boosts crane productivity, that's exactly the type of infrastructure milestone Amazon waits for before scaling Sea Air models. For a company obsessed with efficiency, port productivity is destiny. Let's pause and talk about what this would mean on the ground for Jamaica. 'Cause this isn't just about Amazon moving parcels, it's about how a global giant reshapes local economies. First, jobs. A hub in Kingston wouldn't be just about warehouse workers. It would create roles in trucking, customs brokerage, aviation scheduling, IT systems, packaging, security, and more. Every node Amazon builds typically creates hundreds of direct jobs and countless indirect ones. Restaurants feeding workers, small contractors maintaining facilities, schools benefiting from higher local incomes. Second, small businesses. Jamaican SMEs that join Amazon's Fulfilled by Amazon (FBA) program could finally level the playing field. Faster clearance times and lower landed costs mean that a Jamaican coffee producer or artisan could realistically sell to US or European customers with delivery times competitive to their American counterparts. That's a revolution for exporters who've long been locked out by shipping costs. Third, technology transfer. Amazon doesn't just bring forklifts and shelves, it brings world-class logistics systems. Barcode scanning, predictive analytics, inventory software, packaging innovations, all of these become part of the local ecosystem. For young Jamaicans entering logistics or IT careers, training under Amazon systems could open doors worldwide. If Amazon plants its next hub in Jamaica, the shockwaves will go beyond Kingston's waterfront. The entire Caribbean supply chain will feel the shift. Eastern Caribbean islands like Barbados, St. Lucia, and Dominica could see shorter delivery times as Kingston becomes a feeder base. Western islands and Central American neighbors, from the Cayman Islands to Belize, gain easier reach. Even northern South America, think Guyana and Suriname, both experiencing resource booms, could benefit from smoother flows through Kingston. This also sets up new regional competition. Jamaica secures an Amazon hub, it signals to other islands, modernize your ports, upgrade your customs systems, or get left behind. Caribbean governments have long spoken about becoming logistics centers, but Amazon's presence turns that aspiration into a race. Whoever aligns policy, infrastructure, and incentives the fastest will win the next wave of investment. Now let's consider the United States. Miami has historically been the Caribbean's choke point. Virtually every package once passed through South Florida before moving on. That gave U.S. forwarders and carriers enormous leverage over Caribbean trade. But Amazon's Dominican Republic hub is already bypassing parts of that system. If the Kingston hub comes online, the bypass gets even stronger. Instead of routing everything through Miami, Amazon will have 2 Caribbean nodes capable of handling sea-air transshipment, customs clearance, and last-mile staging. For U.S. consumers, this means faster returns from Caribbean vendors and potentially cheaper prices on imports. But for Miami's freight community, it's a warning. The city that once monopolized Caribbean logistics could see some of its dominance erode as Amazon spreads the network southward. One of the least glamorous but most critical factors in this decision is the weather. Caribbean is hurricane territory. And when hurricanes hit, they don't just disrupt, they paralyze. Ports close, airports shut down, and entire islands can be cut off for weeks. This is why Amazon's multi-hub model makes so much sense. Imagine a storm tearing across Hispaniola, shutting down Santo Domingo. With no backup hub, Amazon's service-level agreements collapse. But with Kingston online, shipments can reroute west, keeping the pipeline alive. This isn't theoretical. Just last year, severe flooding in the DR caused major port delays. Every Caribbean logistics professional knows redundancy isn't optional, it's survival. Amazon knows it too. Kingston's position gives it the resilience the company prizes above all else. Beyond the spreadsheets and flight schedules, there's another layer to this story: pride. For Jamaica, landing an Amazon hub wouldn't just be about jobs or trade. It would be a global signal that Kingston is a logistics heavyweight, not just a tourist destination. Think about it. For decades, Caribbean economies have been painted as dependent on tourism and remittances. But a regional Amazon hub says something different. This island is not just a beach, it's a brain, a muscle, a connector in the global economy. That kind of rebranding has psychological power. It inspires local entrepreneurs, boosts foreign investor confidence, and redefines the way Jamaicans see themselves in the global marketplace. Of course, it's not all smooth sailing. Jamaica faces hurdles that could complicate Amazon's decision. Customs, while modernized, still has pockets of inefficiency. Infrastructure, though improved, suffers from bottlenecks at peak times. Crime and security risks, especially around cargo theft, remain a challenge. And there's always the question of whether government policy can remain consistent. Political cycles in the Caribbean often bring policy whiplash. Amazon will be weighing all these factors carefully. For the company, efficiency is everything. If even one part of the chain slows down, it erodes the prime promise. That means Jamaica must continue addressing vulnerabilities head-on if it wants to secure this prize. If we look at how Amazon expanded in other regions, there are lessons for Jamaica. In Europe, Amazon didn't just stop at Germany. It spread into Poland, France, the UK, Spain, and beyond, always choosing locations where infrastructure and policy aligned. In Asia, it went beyond Singapore, building multiple hubs in India to reach different regional markets. Caribbean will follow the same path. One hub isn't enough. 2, maybe 3 will become the new normal. And Jamaica, with its strategic geography and logistics vision, is perfectly positioned to be the second domino to fall after the doctor. Let's recap the essentials the way we'd flash them on screen. Number 1. Amazon's DR hub is live. First Caribbean distribution hub with 7 weekly Miami-Santo Domingo flights. Number 2. Capacity: millions of packages annually. Number 3. DR Hub integrates Las Americas Airport with Casito Port under DP World. Number 4. Kingston is expanding. KFTL's Westlands project boosts yard space by 25%. Number 5. NMIA Cargo Complex co-locates customs and handlers with modern e-services. Number 6. Jamaica's Logistics Initiative, CZs, Highway 2000, and the Caymanas CZ under development. So here's the bottom line. Amazon's move into the Dominican Republic is not a small experiment, it's a pivot. It marks the start of a Caribbean supply chain era where packages don't all run through Miami. But if history, geography, and Amazon's own playbook are any guide, the next logical step is Jamaica. Add Kingston to Santo Domingo, and you don't just speed up parcels, you build resilience, create jobs, and future-proof the region's logistics. So what do you think? Will Amazon's next Caribbean hub land in Kingston? Will Jamaica finally step into the role it's been preparing for with its global logistics hub initiative? Or will another island jump ahead in the race? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you want more deep dives into how global supply chains, big corporations, and small islands are reshaping the economy, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. 'Cause the stories that seem hidden in the fine print often turn out to be the ones rewriting the future.